Damn, NBA niggas is getting shifted around, man. Pause. So Brandon Ingram is out of the Pelicans, and he went to the Raptors for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk. From what I just read on ESPN, you got Jimmy Butler in Golden State, and he signed an extension. So now Steph Curry got some help. I don't think it's enough help because I don't, they don't like who's your third wheel. Like you still need another shooter out there, and rebounding, and you need a big man. Like um, but Golden State, they'll still be competitive with Jimmy Butler. That makes them a more competitive team. Oh, I'm tired. Um, let's see, man. Who else got traded, man? Yeah, Jimmy Butler got traded. You got though. Yeah, the Lakers made another trade. They traded for Mark Williams, in Charlotte. Um, a center. Let's see how this plays out. So now you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got this center. And they traded Dalton Connect, which I thought they should have kept him because he's you just drafted him, man. Like, and he was a decent player. But maybe he don't fit there. He'll probably do a lot better in Charlotte. But I wouldn't have I wouldn't have wanted to trade him, but they needed a center. I think the Lakers, they're gonna people think they just gonna mail it in, or I don't really get into all that politics shit, man. I love the sports debates and shit, but I think the Lakers, they still got to play the games, man. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's not gonna just mail it in. As much as I'm not a LeBron fan, he ain't just gonna mail the season in, man. Like, that's not his style. You know, they gonna they're gonna try to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Luka. I feel like they did waste a lot of Anthony Davis's years with mediocre play. Since that bubble. Um, but now you got Luka, and you know you got to make it happen. This is LA, man. This is purple and gold. You look up there, you see banners. You know, we don't mail it in LA. So I think they're gonna, LeBron's gonna have to figure out how to play with a guy that plays like him. Usually he's used to playing like with guys like Kyrie who dominated the ball, but Kyrie is a point guard or really a shooting guard playing point guard. You know what I'm saying? But he knows how to like Kyrie. It's easier to play all you know what I'm saying, with guys like that. Even though Kyrie, he dominates the ball. Luka has just played with Kyrie, who you know, and Luka's a ball dominant player. So Kyrie is a guy that knows how to play with these type of guys. But can these two type of guys who play similar play with each other? Wade wasn't as ball dominant as people think he was. He can play off the ball, so that's why him and LeBron work. They complemented each other, and they both are athletic, so they were able to complement each other. And Bosh, he had to, take a step back and, you know, get his touches at the tail end. But with this new guy the Lakers got, it's going to be interesting, man. I don't know if he's enough in the post because now when he subs out, who's going to fill in for him? Who are the shooters out there? But it's going to be interesting, man. And who else, man, got traded, man? Somebody else. Oh yeah, what's that kid? De'Aaron Fox. He looked good in his debut. 24 points, 13 assists, 3 steals. Spurs win by 1 on the road in Atlanta, 126 to 125. Trae Young had 32 with 12. They got to get Trae Young some help over there, man, or trade him. Because he's just dragging along over there and he's wasting his years. either get the man some help or trade him. You know, Shea Gildress, man, he had 50. The Thunder beat the Suns 140 to 109. Anthony Edwards dropped 49, and the Timberwolves won 147. They beat the Bulls. They beat the hell out of the Bulls, man. Bucks snapped their 4-game losing streak. 112 to 102 against the Hornets. So Cleveland beat the Pistons. No, you know what I'm saying. So, but it's gonna look. The second half of the season is gonna look interesting, man. I was just looking at some of the stats in the bottom line. It's gonna get interesting, man. Real interesting, man. Dallas is gonna be a competitive team with Anthony. Them big bodies down there, and now you got Luka and Clay on the outside, and I think they still got PJ Washington. They got a decent little team. And some people put pressure on them. I don't really see too much pressure on them. Anthony Davis is just running out of time with his youth, because he's an injury-prone player. He's been relatively healthy the last season and a half, but at the same time, you're 31, 32 years old now. Time is starting to run out on them good years, especially when you're a broken down type player. You'll start coming off the bench in another 2 or 3 years. And he doesn't have a polished game like Kevin Durant or like Steph Curry, and where they can just continue to look great out there. To me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it remains to be seen. I didn't think LeBron would last as long. You know what I'm saying? But his athleticism hasn't left him yet. So, he's still able to put up numbers. He takes care of himself. So, but I think that, like I said, the Lakers they're gonna be okay. I don't think they win no championship, but they'll definitely make the playoffs. They'll definitely be competitive, and so will the Mavericks. Hopefully, we get to see that matchup in the playoffs. That would be fun to watch. AD versus LeBron, the reunion, and Kyrie. Ooh, that'll be fun to watch, man. With Luka, I think they're gonna try to match them up in the playoffs. They need something to jolt the ratings, and that would definitely jolt the ratings, man. And that'd be fun basketball, man. But let's get to something else fun. So yesterday I was arguing about this duo thing. So I got a couple of things to say, man. I was getting jumped yesterday, on X. So it don't matter. I love sports talk. I like, as long as people are respectful, I don't mind debating with people about sports. I've always argued with people about sports my whole life. I just don't, people just like to get out of character and get disrespectful. And that's where it goes left, man. Especially when you're on these social media, fam. You don't know. You're not going to say that to me in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what was wrong, people. If you're not going to say it to my face, why are you saying it on like, keep it 100 with yourself, man. Don't be a coward, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know damn well, most of you, 90.9% of y'all know y'all not going to say it to somebody's face, man. So, but you get on camera and get on these little, half of them don't got a picture, get on these things and they say stupid shit and they get tough. And you're not even built like that, B. Like, I'm pretty sure 90% of them dudes is not built like that, man. But anyway, he was arguing yesterday with a bunch of people. They tried to, team up on me, man. And they were like, yeah, man, because somebody, I forgot what it was, posted something about Magic and Kareem, one of the greatest duos we ever seen. So in my mind, I'm like, in the 80s, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I never referred to, or never heard anybody refer to the Lakers as a duo. I heard them be referred to as the Showtime Lakers. Now they got me with one thing though. They said Byron Scott wasn't an All-Star, and they were right. Because the whole point I was trying to make was that was a total team effort, that Laker run in the '80s. There wasn't no real dominant force on the team. It was more of a team effort out there, and it was based off of the abilities of Magic. Magic was the engine. When you watch the games, because you can still watch some of the games, if you go on YouTube and type in Lakers in the '80s, games will pop up. Just watch the games, man. So yeah, in the beginning of the '80s, when they won their first championship, I think Kareem won the MVP that year. After that, after the championship, Kareem wasn't really saying, he started to decline. And remember, he was getting older. Magic had to, saying like, now if you want to say they were a duo, maybe back that first championship, even though they had help on that team, yeah, you can, you can say, yeah, because I look at a duo, right? They're taking the brunt of the load when you play. Like when I hear, like when I think of Kobe and Shaq, the workload that them two had, the offense pretty much ran through them two. They had to carry so much of a workload for that, even though they had a mob, that they were the brunt of the workload. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at that when you say duo. So what I said was the Lakers were a great team. Then I'm like, they had James Worthy. He won a Finals MVP. He led them in scoring a couple of times. Byron Scott averaged 20, I believe, 1 year, 21 or something like that. It ain't like these guys were scrubs. AC Green made an All-Star team, but they did that because of Magic Johnson. He made those guys better, but it was still a team effort. They played defense. Michael Cooper was a defender. It wasn't like Green was just dominant force out there, just cooking it, and Magic was just cooking. Like, even when you look at Mike and Pippen, they were a great duo. And Pippen was more of, his role was different. His role was to, control the offense, bring the offense up, to set up the offense, bring the ball up the court, get the offense in a set. You know what I'm saying? That was really what Pippen, and then played tough defense, on the team's best player. You know what I'm saying? And, give you some buckets. That was Scottie Pippen. Mike was offense and defense. You know what I'm saying? Mike was just straight offense and defense. When you look at Kobe and Shaq, Shaq was the workhorse throughout the entire game most of the time. And then Kobe would 9 out of 10 take over in the fourth quarter. Or if they're playing multiple big men and they're doubling Shaq, Kobe would get busy and the ball would go through Kobe. But they carried the workload. Kareem was starting to age in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, James Worthy was giving you 20, 19, 20, 24, like, so we can't sit there and call them a duo, man. Like, maybe the first championship, maybe the second one. After that, nah, that was the Showtime Lakers, man. I mean, ever since Magic got there, they were really Showtime Lakers. They became more the Showtime Lakers once you got Byron Scott and all them dudes. To me, I don't know, that's just me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stockton and Malone, that's a duo. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the Lakers, they either, even when they were in a half-court set, they throw the ball in the Kareem. Sometimes Magic go on post. But majority of the time, they're moving the ball around, and they're going to score off slashing and mid-range shots inside the paint or whatever. That's what they kind of relied on. So then I asked, well, why ain't we considering Kevin McHale and Larry Bird a duo if we doing Magic and Kareem? They're the Celtics. They had a Hall of Fame team. We don't never hear them say Bird and McHale. But this new thing, Magic and it's a few times I've seen that, and each time I argued against it because what happens is like Duncan and David Robinson. But what happens? There's another duo. Sometimes you start to take away from a player's greatness. That's what these guys do. The next thing you know, Magic had Kareem. They got to the finals without Kareem. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Kareem got hurt, Magic stepped in and got loose. And this is the same thing they do with Shaq and Kobe. Kobe had Shaq, and so Kobe just stood around while Shaq, like, it don't make no sense. They were a duo. But at the same time, it was some years Kobe led them in the scoring in the playoffs. But then when you got to the finals, because Shaq wasn't really facing no dominant centers, he was able to cook. So of course he's gonna get it. Kobe wasn't concerned with who was getting the MVP. They were concerned about winning, man. I don't know, man. I just think that I don't know. I don't call them a duo to me like that. Like, not on the level of Shaq and Kobe. Like, even when you look at McHale and Bird, right? Bird and McHale, they, people, what I'm saying? Like, that was a team effort with them too, but they were more like, you were going, like, their usage rates, as far as them getting the ball and having to score, might have been higher than Kareem and Magic. Although they had a Hall of Fame team, you had Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, you had Robert Parrish. Those guys weren't really, like Ainge can shoot. Dennis Johnson was more of a floor general and defense. It's my man named Robert Parrish was more of a defender. McHale was your post player, and Bird was your sniper. And he was able to create openings for everybody. So I don't really, so that was another total team effort. But if we're gonna use the word duo, just because the two best players are Hall of Famers and superstars, then we gotta call them a duo too. But I don't know, man. Jordan, like I said, Jordan and Pippen, like I said, they were a duo. There's my cousin said Stephen Clay, he don't really consider them a duo like that. Matter of fact, somebody else brought up Stephen Clay in the video. I mean, not in the video, on X. Like, I said Stephen Clay. He said they were. Somebody said, my cousin said he didn't really consider them a duo. But Clay can get nuclear out there, like, because he looked at Clay and like Clay is not the same player, but he forgets that Clay dropped 37 and a quarter one time. Like, he can get nuclear on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he's looking at is, can you carry a team? And that does matter too, but sometimes when you're looking at a duo, it's how much y'all impact the team and the game with just y'all two on the court. And the impact y'all have. I'm real tired, man. Yeah, so the impact y'all got, that's what, will matter about the duo to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like Stockton and Malone, that was the main offense, was, pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Twin Towers with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. They were your two best players on the team by far, and they was getting the ball, putting up, you know what I'm saying, numbers. Shaq and Kobe, Kareem and Magic. I don't know. Like I said, I'll give you a year or two. But what about when Worthy and them came? I was their duo when Worthy was nice in college and came into the league, and I believe the next year he wins Finals MVP. He even got them to the playoffs after Magic retired. But anyways, man, I'm out, man. I'm gonna revisit this later. I'm gonna get me some rest, man, so I'm nice and sharp for you guys later, man. Manyface Publishing, I'm out. Peace.